Welcome back. In Wake County's effort to offer more coordinated services to persons who are experiencing homelessness, Wake County has been collecting data and providing accurate information on what kind of assistance consumers need. Emergency shelters are an essential part of homeless services. For individuals and families experiencing economic shocks, emergency shelters are often the first place to find solace. Joining us to talk about this important issue is David Harris, Program Manager for Wake County Human Services. Thank you so much for being here, David.
It's great to be here.
Can you fill us in on where the county is in its effort to serve persons who are homeless?
Well, our community is really fortunate to have so many people who are interested in homelessness and really working to make a difference in the lives of our citizens. Not only do our homeless providers provide services, but each year they come together and they do a collective count of our population who is experiencing homelessness. So those are folks who are literally homeless. They go out and they provide outreach and they count those folks. And so we've been doing this for almost 20 years, and it really provides what I would consider really great trend data. So back in 2002, we counted 1,600 homeless citizens in our community. And most recently in January, we counted just at 1,000 homeless citizens. Our community has almost doubled in that same time period, but we've made significant decreases in homelessness in that same time period. So I think that's a cause for at least stepping back and celebrating just a little.
Now, obviously, you talk about the issue of homelessness, and we all drive to and from work or from home, and especially here in the downtown area, you see the homeless community just congregating anywhere they can safely. But one group, single women, are experiencing homelessness here in Wake County. Can you talk about the current state of that sector in the homeless community?
Yeah, that's still an area that we need to roll up our sleeves. When we look at those decreases that I was talking about, we've seen decreases in men, we've seen decreases in families, we've even seen decreases in women. But if you delve into that more carefully, there is a 5-year trend where we're having an increase in the number of single women. So those are women without children living on the streets by themselves. And in 2010, we counted 120 single women during that year. And when we counted that number in 2015, we counted roughly 200 single women. So that's a 60% increase in a 5-year period when everything else has been on a downturn.
And what efforts are underway to help these women?
Well, we really became acutely aware of that situation last winter when we were moving into our white flag or our cold weather emergency housing operations. And we were concerned that we weren't going to have enough space for single women in our community. We're glad that everybody banded together and were able to operate above capacity for that winter period. But then after the winter, we started really working with the shelters, contacting them individually and asking them if they could expand capacity. And then we kind of delved deeper into the situation. And so one of the things that we're working to do is really try to implement some of the national best practices around changing service delivery. So looking at things like provided rapid rehousing within the context of a shelter, looking more at diversion, looking at homeless prevention. So what we really want to do is we want to kind of unclog the shelter situation so it's moving more fluidly.
Now, as you talk about the plan and working with the partners, do you believe that it's adequate to reach the population that you need, and does budget allow for room to make such an effort happen?
In terms of budget, it really is it's a public-private kind of cooperation, so we'll have to do that together. We do have housing services budget. It's always a fixed budget, but in terms of this being a priority and a gap, that's something that we're going to look toward funding in the future. And in terms of really needing some capital, that's something that I think we'll be able to garner in our community.
And lastly, how can folks find out about the information shared today and some of the progress being made?
Sure. I really think maybe a best one place of information would be our website, so the community website, endinghomelessnesswake.org.
David Harris with Wake County Human Services, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here.
When we return, we'll talk about a grant received by Wake EMS. Stay tuned.